Corporate Sector Approach to Online Learning. Assignment 2, PBL Scenario A, Orville McCall and Carolyn Maynard, due October 13th, 2014, for Dr. E. Childs. Analysis questions to ponder. Does online training for aviation employees utilize all three theories of learning to deliver effective end results? And is or should connectivism be a predominant focus within aviation training? Corporate defined. A corporation is a separate legal entity that has been incorporated either directly through legislation or through a registration process established by law. Incorporated entities have legal rights and liabilities that are distinct from their employees, shareholders, and members, and may conduct business as either a profit-seeking business or not-for-profit. Wikipedia. Starting with Olin's 1978 and followed by Brickite and Stadler 1980, the understanding of corporate identity has gradually broadened and is now taken to indicate the way which an organization's identity is revealed through behavior, communications, as well as through symbolism to internal and external audiences. Increasingly, academics acknowledge that a corporate identity refers to an organization's unique characteristics, which are rooted in the behavior of members of the organization, that the management of an organization's identity is of strategic importance and requires a multidisciplinary approach. The senior managers can narrow the gap between the actual and desired corporate identity through marshaling the corporate identity mix, communications, symbolism, and behavior. European Journal of Marketing. Online learning defined. Online learning is said to nearly always mean teaching as well as learning. More and currently 2011. Distance education was an individual pursuit defined by infrequent postal communications between students and teacher. The last half of the 20th century witnessed rapid developments and the emergence of three additional generations, one supported by the mass media of television and radio, another by the synchronous tools of video and audio teleconferencing, and yet another based on computer conferencing. The first part of the 21st century has produced the first vision of a fifth generation, based on autonomous agents and intelligent database-assisted learning that we refer to as the educational semantic web. Each of these generations has followed more quickly upon its predecessor than the previous one. Anderson, 2008. Corporate online learning. E-learning has been around for more than a decade and has become widely regarded as a viable option for a variety of educational contexts. Especially, it forms the core of numerous business plans as new technologies provide a new set of tools that can add value to traditional learning modes, such as accessibility to content, efficient management of courseware and learners, and enhanced delivery channels. In addition to these positive benefits, economic savings have made e-learning a high priority for many corporations. Given that as much as 40% of money spent on in-person corporate training is eaten up by travel costs, companies using online training can expect plenty of time and cost savings compared with conventional face-to-face training. Yoi, Lim, Kim, 2012. As baby boomers retire and millennials take over the workforce, we see more and more corporations embracing technology and online learning as part of the big technology wave. BC Public Service Agency. According to Don Tapscott and Wikinomics, this is the first generation to grow up in the digital age, making them a significant force for collaboration. They typically can't imagine a life where citizens didn't have the tools to consistently think critically, exchange views, challenge, authenticate, verify, or debunk. Behaviorism, cognitivism, and constructivism are the three broad learning theories most often utilized in the creation of instructional environments. These theories, however, were developed in a time when learning was not impacted through technology. Over the last 20 years, technology has reorganized how we live, how we communicate, and how we learn. Learning needs and theories that describe learning principles and processes should be reflective of underlying social environments. Vail emphasizes that learning must be a way of being, an ongoing set of attitudes and actions by individuals and groups that they employ to try and keep abreast of the surprisingly novel, messy, obtrusive, reoccurring events. Siemens, 2004. Behaviorism states that learning is largely unknowable. That is, we can't possibly understand what goes on inside a person's mind, the black box theory. Connectivism often takes a computer information processing model. Learning is viewed as a process of inputs managed in short-term memory and coded for long-term recall. Constructivism suggests that learners create knowledge as they attempt to understand their experiences. Connectivism is the integration of principles explored by chaos, network, and complexity in self-organization theories. Learning is a process that occurs within nucleus environments of shifting core elements, not entirely under the control of the individual. Learning, defined as actionable knowledge, can reside outside of ourselves, within an organization or a database. Is focused on connecting specialized information sets and the connections that enable us to learn more important than our current state of knowing. Connectivism is driven by the understanding that decisions are based on rapidly altering foundations. New information is continually being acquired. The ability to draw distinctions between important and unimportant information is vital. The ability to recognize when new information alters the landscape based on decisions made yesterday is also critical. Connectivism represents a model of learning that acknowledges the tectonic shift of society, where learning is no longer an internal, individualistic activity. How people work and function is altered when new tools are utilized. The field of education has been slow to recognize both the impact of new learning tools and the environmental changes in what it is meant to learn. Connectivism provides insight into learning skills and tasks needed for learners to flourish in a digital age. Siemens, 2004. Delivery method within the corporate sector. There are many different models. This is just one, but there's always a focus on the fiscal bottom line in corporate training. The comparatively low costs of e-learning are attractive. Even so, when corporations are looking at such options as blended learning, using more than one method of delivery, example e-learning plus traditional classroom delivery of content, to increase training effectiveness, even if it may raise the cost. Strother, 2002. Advantages and disadvantages. The pros. Corporate managers are constantly looking for more cost-effective ways to deliver training to their employees. E-learning is less expensive than traditional classroom instruction. In addition, many expenses, booking training facilities, travel costs for employees or trainers, plus employee time away from their jobs are greatly reduced. In addition to generally positive economic benefits, other advantages such as convenience, standardized delivery, self-paced learning, and a variety of available content have made e-learning a high priority for many corporations. On the other hand, some of the cons are: how do training managers decide which educational products and which learning technology providers actually produce effective results? How do they balance product quality with training costs? As the new corporate adage goes, wise training managers realize the bitterness of poor quality remains long after the sweetness of low price has been forgotten. To justify making decisions about training programs independently of training cost considerations, managers need concrete measures of program effectiveness. While there is no doubt that we can see an increasing number of case studies showing success with e-learning, it is still difficult to find solid research measures of learner achievement in the specialized setting of a corporate training program. Strother, 2002. Airline training. E-learning has saved the airline industry a significant amount of money. Training costs are a major factor. The workforce is dispersed across 115 airports. Prior to online training, employees had to travel to one of 5 training centers, keeping employees away from their jobs for at least a day. Zimmerman, 2001. Training material. Training all airline personnel, both corporate and staff, is carried out by following specific regulations that are established by government authorities and regulatory agencies. Some of these examples are Transport Canada Aeronautical Information Manual and the Airline Manual. These training materials are then converted into courses that are completed by using multimedia tools such as video, audio MP3 presentations, animations, web pages, and automatic correction and reference practice questions, tied together using a state-of-the-art learning management system that is also compatible with mobile devices. Pedagogy. In airline training, there's a large emphasis placed on simulation training. Simulation is a powerful training tool because it allows the trainer to systematically control the schedule of practice, presentation of feedback, and introduction or suppression of environmental distractions within a safe, controlled learning environment. Youngblood et al., 2008. Major reviews. The aviation industry is a 24/7 operation that produces a variety of challenges for all airline employees, including extended duty periods, highly variable schedules, frequent time zone changes, increased passenger loads. Therefore, the training must be continually updated when regulations change. Training must be standardized across the board to meet government authorities and regulatory agency requirements. Conclusion. Measuring learning is a key element to outcome assessment and is the foundation for improvement. As long as within the corporate sector there is a way of measuring that learning took place, then there is a possibility for improvement. References. Thank you.